In less than 35 minutes, Vince Staples describes so perfectly how I feel about what it's like living in modern day America as a black man. Crybaby by Vince Staples is one of the best albums to release this year. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it right now. Before I get into this breakdown, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a video. Hype this video up so we can get it in the algorithms. Donate to this Cash App. Join to be a member. Link is in the description. Vince Staples released an album called Crybaby that is just 10 tracks, less than 36 minutes, around 35 minutes, and it's the perfect way to describe how I've been feeling as a black man in modern America. Hip-hop taught me all y'all little black fools, but it's not enough. I'm not gonna lie, this project right here is heavy, and yes, pun intended. I rock with it completely, wholeheartedly. You see what I did there? It is a must listen, and right now, if you haven't been paying attention, it feels as though we're back in the 40s, in the 50s, and 60s. If you've been looking at the demonization of woke, if you've been looking at the cases that we had a case in South Carolina where an owner of a gas station, a mini mart, was basically just chased a brother down and shot him and was able to walk away free. We have another case with the Carmelo kid. Plenty of black women have lost their job, right? This administration has went out their way to fire or to not promote people of color. It's a lot going on right now. The demonization of DEI and how DEI has been stripped. It's a lot. And if you ask me, hip hop has been so commercialized, I don't think it can give you the sonics of what I've been feeling. Right now, I'm in a revolutionary mode. I'm not gonna lie. It's been difficult for me to turn on this camera and to speak. My soul is so disconnected from everything, right? I am on go mode. I'm in my prepper bag. I'm in my grab some ammo, grab some canned goods, and get a supply of food that could last over, a month or two, because from the warning signs that I've been getting, it's nasty out here, especially when it comes to being a black man. It seems as though we are being hunted and we are being targeted out in the open, right? There's plenty of cases of people that are ending up ooh-eyed, that are hanging themselves from trees, and it's just like, that don't feel right. It's real tension out here, right? And so for me, I don't know if the sonics of hip hop can necessarily describe what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling revolution. And the best way to describe this album, the sound of this album, is a revolution. It's a warning. It's a call to action without being a call to action. Everything about this album is exactly how I feel. And it's funny that, all music in America, black music. So, rock and roll is black music, punk rock, black music, country music, black music, you name it. All music in America is black music. I don't want to hear that. The fact that in order to convey such a deep message, the contradictions, the psychosis, the things that you have to do to live in America as a black man, as in a modern America, it feels still so 50s and 60s. It still feels like, we haven't made any progress, especially with this current administration. So the first song, Blackberry Mama. And right off rip, Vince Staples is talking about heavy topic. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you are casual, exit stage left. This album ain't for you. This album is deep. It sounds good. It's sonically amazing. Rock, boom, 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 boom. It gives you an old feeling. It make me feel, I'm a huge Jimi Hendrix fan. I like Chuck Berry. I like Little Richard. I like Ike Turner, right? Music wise, right? These are the foundations, right, of rock and roll music, right? We know where Elvis got his stuff from, right? We know what they did with rock and roll music, right? We don't have to go into the history. So when I hear this album, sonically, it's amazing. And from the first song, Blackberry Mama, that sonically is going to sound something that fits to my soul. Like I remember I had a trip one time. I took an organic trip. And I was an old nigga the whole time. The whole time I was a dude from 1950s, 1960s. I was in my bag. I was just in my bag. There was like I heard outstanding in my head all day. Like I was in the Gap Band bag. Like you couldn't tell me that I was an old, you feel me? I was David Ruffin. And I refuse to let you go. I was one of them ones. I was James Brown, right? I was getting it down. And so when you turn on Blackberry Mama, that's the vibe that I get. I get that, I'm in this old bag. I feel like I got my fro picked out. You get what I'm saying? I feel like Big Fro Hove on stage. You get what I'm saying? I feel like, you see my big chop. I got the big Benny the Butcher. I got the big Benny the Butcher chops. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like in my 70s bag, my black exploitation bag. And off rip, he says, promise me you won't gun me down. Promise me you won't gun me down. That's one of the things that I hear a lot. It's the constant fear that you have as a black person, not knowing whether you're going to come home or not. Dealings with the police, being from certain neighborhoods. You have these ideas in your head that, you hunted, right? That there's an enemy out there trying to stop you. So when he says, promise me you won't gun me down, right? And he constantly says that, it's awesome. And then he also talks about, know that they miserable. Know that behind every smile, they hating you. If you really listen to the lyrics, you really understand, like, he talking about race relations. He talking about being black in America and how it's a constant fear of your life and how it don't seem to be getting safer. It seems that there's a something brewing that's making it worse. You go on Twitter specifically, you'll see how much negativity and hate is out there. They calling people mud sharks, Chud the Builder. There's a thing going on out there right now. I mean, it's been going on, but it's now becoming profitable. This administration has made it to feel like it's okay to be hateful, to be racist. And so Blackberry Mama starts out really good, a lot of dope, deep concepts, but then you go into Gorilla, which is more so about police brutality, the relationship between the black community and policing. And it's another tough topic. Vince shares his stories about the first time he was pulled over, and
I was 12 years old when they tried to sit me on the curb. I got chokeslammed for resisting arrest from a grown man.
And he didn't even tell his mama.
I didn't even tell my mama what happened.
A lot of the times you go through things within the black community that you don't even tell people. You get what I'm saying? There's so many things that I went to that I haven't told my mom. I haven't told my brother. It's a lot of things that you just keep to yourself because it just seems regular. He talks about his experience, and he talks about, just the fear of having the police, pull you over, and how no matter what, if you rich or you not, even if you in what he considers a spaceship, right, they still going to mess with you. You get what I'm saying? No amount of money is going to protect you from the police trying to get you. So go Gorilla. I don't know. For me, it always feels like we always tap dancing, right? Go Gorilla. Like they always see us as this threat, even if we just in the car. It's always this level of you're a threat, or you're going to try to harm me. And so how I see him saying go Gorilla is kind of like how we are in America, how we always just tap dance, and how we just these caged animals in a zoo. And anytime somebody has an interaction with us, they have this fear of losing their life. And that's kind of just how it is when you about to get pulled over by the police, right? And so for me, the next song is really dope because it's more of a somber song, right? A lot of this is angry. I'm not gonna lie, I'm angry. So when I listen to this album, it lights a fire in me. It makes me upset about what's going on. And so we get to a song called White Flag, where he says,
sometimes love can turn to war. I seen it all before.
Right? And it's more of a, can we quit? Like, I'm tired. Like, I want to wave the white flag. Like, we've been going through this police brutality. We've been jumping and we've been doing all of this. Can I quit? And that's kind of the question I hear in White Flag, is that sometimes love can turn to war. I seen it all before. And so White Flag is another of my favorite. I'm gonna be honest with you, all these songs sound really good. They sonically sound good. They sonically fit together. And it's not like, oh my God, he went crazy. He didn't go, screamo, my dad hates me, I wanna shoot. Nah, he didn't go that way. He just rapping over rock type beats. And it's just, it's very much welcome, because hip hop may not be able to get close to what he's trying to portray here with the sonics and the sounds. These songs sound just different. I can't really describe it, but it's almost like historical fiction. Almost, it feels like Vince is going back in time, but also it's still very relevant to this day. So it's like the music takes you back to a time where maybe the Black Panthers were a little bit more prominent. Maybe, civil rights was the thing, but it fits so well within today. So White Flag is more of a, man, I'm tired. That's how I take it, right? Waving a white flag is like, hey man, can we just call it truce? Like, I'm over this. Like, you didn't, all my resources being used up. I done got no more left. So White Flag, Gorilla, Block Marmalade, 3 for 3 so far. And then we go into Running Man, right? And one of my favorite lines are off the Running Man. He says, lost in translation, can't find my religion, is God on vacation, right? And from what I hear through Running Man, is like, yo, you can't run from it. You can't run from it. You can't wave the white flag, right? And the Running Man is about not being able to run, right? You like, nah, dog, you can't go nowhere. This is the battle that you have been placed in. This is the thing that you've been placed in, and you can't go nowhere. So when he asks that question, can't find my religion, is God on vacation? This is often why I think a lot of young people, especially within the Black community, have strayed away from organized religion. With all of this stuff going on, it's like, bro, you it's kind of hard to convince somebody that there's a God because there's so much suffering and so much pain. And I had these ladies, it's funny, I had these ladies come onto my door because I got a cross on my door, and I had them come, people at the church. I don't really rock with organized religion. I don't really rock with people from the church because they just not realistic, right? And this is another part of the problem, like, right? They come and they ask me if I want to hear these 3 Bible verses, and I needed a break at the moment from working on something. So I was like, yeah, sure. Like, let's talk about it. So they asked me these 3 different Bible verses. I was like, let's talk about suffering. So they tried to tell me about suffering, and I was kind of like, I understand it. It just is what it is. Like, we need suffering in order to understand. And I start talking about balance, and I start talking about nature, and I can already see they were like, well, God doesn't do suffering. It's not him. It's not him. God, I'm like, right? And so I feel as though a lot of where we're at in reality today, the reality in which we live in, it doesn't fit the organized religion of like, no, let's try to shape this narrative to exactly what we want it to be and just ignore reality. And I think that's a lot of the problem with where we're at in society. People can't understand the concept of a God when there's so much pain, and it seems as though all of the worst people are winning. It's kind of hard to believe in the balance of life and goodness when it seems to be the worst people are always winning. So when he says, lost in translation, can't find my religion, is God on vacation? It's like, damn, nigga, like, been calling you, bro, but I'm not even getting the voicemail. Your voicemail full. I'm not even getting to be able to leave a message. You know what I'm saying? And love that song. Love this 4. This 4 is like probably the strongest. This first 6 is probably the strongest of the 6. And then we go into TV Guide. And TV Guide is pretty simple. The television playing tricks on us, the television having magic tricks, and how they will be able to shape your worldview, and how it's always on and people are always watching it. And it could literally, whoever controls media controls your view and your perception on life. So when he talks about TV Guide, television playing magic tricks and all these different things, this is a very thoughtful album, right? This is a very, this album can be probably broken down even better. You get what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure once Vince start doing a lot more interviews, we'll get a little bit more of what his whole purpose and what his concept was. But for me, I understand the Crybaby thing, because sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I feel like as Black people, we just, with things that the media does. And once we get into Big Bad Wolf, which is, I think, the best song on the album, it's just sometimes feel like we're crying and there's nothing that we can do. You get what I'm saying? It feels like we always crying and we always trying to, overcome these obstacles. But do we ever? TV Guide is about the TV and how it plays tricks on you and how it shapes your worldview, and you got to get off that thing. So I would like to get into Big Bad Wolf. If you feel I'm missing something through these songs, definitely let me know in the comment section. Again, this is just my thoughts, my raw thoughts. I wrote down some stuff of me, listen to it a bunch of different times, and this is what kind of stuck out to me on my 3rd or 4th listen. And so my favorite song is number 6, which is The Big Bad Wolf.
Drop that noose, you should be swinging in the jungle, black man. What's your master plan? What are you gonna do when the shit crack off and the big bad wolf come and blow down your house?
He's basically asking you, what are you gonna do when the big bad wolf comes and tries to blow your house down? Because shit is happening right now, and they're dog whistling and they're putting this thing into play. And if you aren't paying attention, you're not gonna be ready. And what I take that as is because this album just feels like a revolution album. It feels like that's what revolution would sound like in 2026 is this album. And so for me, he's asking, what are you going to do when the revolution happens? He says he's tired of watching people dry snitching on interviews. He's tired of more of jingles from the Jigaboos.
Don't want to hear another jingle from the Jigaboos. Don't want to see another dry snitching interview.
Like, I love that, right? He's tired of just jingles. He's tired of watching these dry snitching interviews. It's really an honest look and critique at the culture and where it's at right now, right? Like, this is a lot of the times where, where it feels as though because of what's going on, you don't want to sound like a Stephen A. Smith. You don't want to sound like a respectability politics person. But there's a lot of shit in the culture that's just ugly, so to speak, at least to me personally. It's just real ugly and real nasty. Yeah, I'm tired. I don't watch I don't watch DJ Academics. I don't watch Adam 22. I don't watch a lot of this low-hanging fruit within hip-hop, right? Like Poetic Flacos. A lot of these guys that just talk about bull all day, I don't really rock with them. I don't really watch that because I'm over it, right? And so Big Bad Wolf is one of those songs that you really got to listen to, because he's asking you like, yo, what are we doing? The Big Bad Wolf is coming to knock down our house and we are not prepared. We are not ready. And so what, we gonna still keep watching these stupid interviews? We gonna still keep listening to these jingles, shaking our asses, or we actually gonna do something about it? I love The Big Bad Wolf, one of my favorite songs in the album, but my favorite line is on the next song, Only in America. In this song, my favorite line is,
This world known to break down angels. So long since I had my halo.
this is my favorite line on the album because he talks about America and how like America is so weird. It's this land of the brave and the home of the prosperity, but it's like this shit will break you down as a black man. If you a conscious black man, it's gonna break you down. And I feel like that. This world known to break down angels. So long since I had my halo. Now we can go into another conversation that I don't think most people are ready, because organized religion has hipped us to believe what they want us to believe. And I believe they remixed the story a lot, but that's neither here nor there. That's a different conversation. Maybe I'll put that on my members only. That line goes deep to me. And I feel like that. I feel like a lot of why I like this album is because of my anger, because of how I feel right now in America. And it's hard to turn on the camera and just talk about Jay-Z with the fro dissing everybody. It's hard. You feel what I'm saying? Because I know what he's dissing. He's dissing the idea, right? When you get big, 5 people will come together, say the same thing, and they won't even know each other, right? And so when you as big as Jay-Z, you see all of this negativity, and it's just like, man, like I'm to blame for it. This nigga Forrest Gump, he done been through they blame him for everything. And so do I want to talk about that right now? No, because I feel as though there's bigger fish to fry, but they all play into it. Jaguar rights, the right wing agenda that's taking over hip hop. And so I feel like I'm losing my sanity. I feel like I'm losing I'm losing my mind, you know, just growing up in America. Tupac said it the best: after 30, there ain't no loudmouth 30-year-old black-year-olds. It's like you get 30 and they just take the energy out of a brother. And that's how I've been feeling every year since I've been 30. Like, dang, like I've been becoming more of a recluse. It's becoming harder and harder to actually use my voice for what I think it's supposed to be used for, and that's to speak up on the issue. So favorite line there, I love it. He also says by the end of it,
Stole me and they brought me to the USA. Thank you, I guess.
and I feel like that's how you supposed to be as a black person. You supposed to be appreciative with anything you get in America, because you could have been a slave and you could have been in Africa. It could have been worse. And so you never have you never have a leg to stand on, because nobody really gives a fuck about how you feel and who you are as a person. You're supposed to be happy to be here, even though they stole you, broke you down, and did all the things they did to you. That's one of my favorite lines that he kind of just says there at the end. Only in America, probably overall my favorite song. Just the things that he's saying here, how, you know, it's just the oxymoron and just the contradiction of being black in America. You're supposed to have all of this prosperity and gold, but look at how we being treated. The next song is Do You Know the Devil, right? Do you know the devil? And he keeps constantly saying, can you help me? We are broken. We are weak. God, can you judge me? I'm only a man. We need help. The devil preys on the weak, so America preys on us. This whole thing is exploitation. We need help. We have to sell our souls, because that's the only way we can get out of poverty in America. And there's so much things that we have to do that's so negative. You know, Vince mentions that he might have sold his soul on this, right? And he remembers what he was doing in 2009 and 2008 when he was signing to a label or signing or getting popular and wanted that thing, right? Now Vince is off the label. The first album he makes off of Def Jam is a socially conscious rock album. I don't know, like, right? A black socially conscious rock album. I wouldn't even call it socially conscious, but he's definitely doing social commentary, right? And so when you hear Do You Know the Devil and you think the things that he's talking about, it's like black people know the devil more than anything, because that shit all in our community, that shit all in our neighborhood. The decisions that we have to make in order to make it out of the hood is crazy, right? And I think in Cotton, the next song, we know the decision that Vince make, and the decision is he's soft as cotton, right? And I hate to say it like that, because that's what he's saying. He's saying like, yo, if it wasn't for the music, I wouldn't have made it out, right? And the music is what makes me soft. In where I'm from, being soft, yo, you can't be soft. The kids will knock you off. Cotton is soft. So Vince has to go against his upbringing in order to bring you the music.
Drop the needle, turn up the volume. Record spinning is so hypnotic. Music make you feel just like cotton. Pick me up when I feel like falling down.
He's basically saying, yo, this music is what has saved us. Cotton is what has saved us in America, right? Like, think about what they would have done to us if they didn't need us to pick cotton. As soon as the cotton gin was made, slavery kind of, started to die down a little bit because there was people, less slaves, more machines. So when Vince says pick me up when I feel like falling, right? When cotton is ready to fall, that's when you gotta pick it. And so there's a lot here that could be deep dive. Amazing sounding song, right? Pick me up. It could be so much more in there. I think on Blackberry Mama, he like Nigga. Like, it's okay, like say it Nigga. I don't know. A part of me feels as though Vince kind of takes the perspective of white America a few times. It's certain things that he says, and I'm like, that sounds like he talking from the white America perspective to the nigga. But then he jumps back and kind of tells his story. So I hear a lot of that there. But I'm going to just end y'all off here. I don't want to keep y'all too longer. Go listen to this album. I really, really like this album. I'm going to sit with it more. But as an angry black man, this is the perfect album to put on. And I ain't ready to go riot. I mean, I'm ready to riot. I ain't gonna lie. I am in my prepper mode. I'm ready to not riot. I'm ready to burn some shit down. But it definitely makes me understand that, like, I'm not the only one going through this, and that other people feel like this. Like, the contradictions right now are just crazy, right? Just everywhere you look, in gaming, and everywhere, videos, and on YouTube, gaming, it just seems like everything is a crazy low-key race war, right? Like, this is woke slop. I just read where Idris Elba is saying, don't make James Bond woke. It's like, Idris, what are you talking about, right? And like, these key words, right? Woke, right? It feel like we back in the 50s and 60s. So this was the perfect album. And 7 in the Morning is the last song on the album. And for me, it feels like he wakes up out of this psychosis and realizes that it's still the same. Like, he's looking outside the window, right? And it's 7 in the morning, and he still sees that we are still marching to the beat of the same drums. We still stuck in a nightmare. He's asked, why is murder our entertainment? He's asking some of these questions here, and it's like, nothing really has changed. We still marching to the beat of the drums of the slave master. We are, it's crazy, right? The things that America does to you is crazy. We are murderous, thieving, like, do anything for money type people. And so when I hear this, just the dreariness of it, it feels like the nightmare still continues, and that this may have healed the pain for a little bit, but at the end of the day, he still wants to go in the corner and cry. And so it's 7 in the morning. Vince asks a lot of questions, right? And it's not too overbearing. He's just like, yo, this shit fucked up, right? And that's kind of how I took it. Again, this album is amazing. I really feel as though you should go listen to it. There's so much more there. I feel like every line, there's certain stuff here, and he's spitting. Like, Vince isn't going too crazy with like the double entendres and shit like that. It's kind of straight to your face and direct, but it's so beautiful. It sounds really well made. The production on here is great. I'm a instrumentation type person, so I love live instruments. I love rock music. I love all kinds of music. So to get him rapping on top of this is amazing, and it goes very well with the next video that I have coming out. You should definitely check that out. It is called, if you stuck to this, the next video that I'm putting out that I've been working on for a little minute, how to use hip hop to sell your pop album for dummies. That's my next thing. And I'm going to talk about the history of black music and how forever people have been using black music, specifically, especially more recently, hip hop, to sell their pop albums. So that's next of what I'm going on. And the fact that Vince was able to use rock, to take rock back and use it in a very unique, special way, where he didn't go to, rip shirts and you know what I'm saying, and skinny jeans and you know what I mean, and AC/DC tattoos. He just went just enough for you to almost go into a time period piece. This feels like a time period piece, but it describes what we're going through so well. Let me know how you feel about Crybaby. I'm a huge fan of it. It's been a lot of good music going out there. I got more videos in the work. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Again, like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a video. Donate to this Cash App. Link is in the description to become a member. Anything's appreciated. I appreciate y'all support. Again, thank y'all for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to come with me. Listen to Crybaby by Vince Staples right fucking now. Don't hesitate. It's an amazing, amazing project. Read My Soul out. Till next time. Peace.